In this video, we're going to look at the method of movement that allows the tectonic plates to move around the Earth. We're going to revise the layers of the Earth. We're going to look at convection currents and what they are, and then look at how convection currents move inside the Earth. Okay, structure of the Earth, we've looked at this before. We start with an inner core, then the outer core, the lower mantle, then the upper mantle with the crust on the top. Now, important for plate tectonics is that the crust and a small portion of the upper mantle are in an area that we call the lithosphere. And lithosphere comes from the word for rock, lithos, and so that's looking at the crust and the upper part of the mantle, and this is where the tectonic plates are formed. This is the solid outer part of the Earth, and then just below that, so getting down into the rest of the mantle, we have the asthenosphere. Now, asthenosphere comes from asthmos, which means weak, and it is a plastic area, and plastic in the sense that it is a weak solid, so it behaves like a liquid, or a little bit of a, it's got properties of a liquid, but is actually a solid. We're now going to look at convection. Okay, convection currents occur in liquids or gases. It's a way to heat up evenly a liquid or a gas that it occurs. And what happens is that when something is heated unevenly, so in particular from the bottom, that bit that's in contact with it heats up, and we know that as things heat up, they expand. So as it expands, it takes up more room, yet has the same mass, so therefore the density decreases. And because it's got a lower density, it rises to the top, and cooler fluid comes in to take its place. And this creates what we call convection cells. So you'll have areas generally that are being heated, which are the updraft of the current, and then you've got to have areas that are coming down to fill in the cool fluid or air into that spot. So you get a movement around, and it goes generally in a pretty neat way. Now, in convection currents, you might see these when heating water on the stove, so the water forms convection currents inside it. And another place that we see convection currents is in local winds. So what happens is that the sun heats up an area of the Earth, the air above it gets heated as well, it expands and rises, cooler air comes to take its place, and that's where we get local wind from. Inside the Earth, we get these convection currents as well. So the mantle is heated from the core. This causes the rock in the asthenosphere, so that plastic area that behaves a little bit like a liquid, to decrease, expand, therefore decrease in density, and rise up towards the crust. And then that gap is filled by cooler rock. And when we say cooler, we're still talking very, very hot rock for it to behave like a liquid, obviously. And then that rock moves down towards the core to take its place. And then this process continues over and over again. So to look at this on the diagram, we get a heating from the core here, remembering that the core is very, very hot. It heats the mantle. This area of rock here expands and rises. As it rises, other cooler rock moves down to take its place, and you can see that we've got here a couple of different convection cells, one there and one there, all traveling in the same direction. So you can see that the plate sitting on top of the convection cell is therefore going to get pulled along with the asthenosphere underneath it, and it's going to move away from this hot spot on the core. And we've already talked about the density of the plates, and you can see that the oceanic plate here, and here we've got another convection cell with a continental plate, so these are crashing into each other. The oceanic plate, being more dense, is going to sink under the continental plate. And we'll talk in another video about what that means for the surface of the Earth. In this video, we've looked at convection currents as the mechanism for the movement of tectonic plates. We've revised the layers of the Earth, and in particular the lithosphere, which is the plates, and the asthenosphere, which is the mantle that the plates are sitting on. We've looked at how convection currents work, with an area being heated, the fluid or air or whatever it is in that spot expanding, therefore becoming less dense and rising, and cooler, therefore more dense matter taking its place, and the process going over again. And we've looked at how this causes the movement of the tectonic plates.